Welcome back to DM-Nastics, the gym for dungeon masters to work out their minds. I'm one of your hosts, DM Celeste, aka Sea Witch.
And I'm your other host, DM Neil, aka Jote Maniac. And today is going to be entitled Class Breakers. Because combo breaker is a thing.
Combo, yep.
And we are going to comicbook.com, which we don't normally do, but this time around, Matthew Danielson has brought to us 5 D&D builds that can break the rules of their class.
Ooh.
If we're going to be frank with Danielson, if we're going to be frank with Matthew, son of Daniel.
Matthew Danielson.
Man,
oh boy. First name, last name.
Now that I've done this, it's going to be extremely difficult for me to meet someone who has a name with son at the end of it and not refer to them as first name son of. So Matthew, son of Daniel, I genuinely do not think that this is what they wanted the title to be, because these are just subclasses. This is not builds, which is totally fine. Because I love this article, because I think it's really important to look at from a DM perspective, as well as a player perspective. I still think it's a ridiculous title. So, but in essence, D&D subclasses that break the rules of their class.
Yep.
And again, this is great because you may have a base concept. So there is a thing in my heart that I always want to do, and I've never been able to convince a team of players to do it. It's to all be one class and then like pick subclasses and then just go, or multi-class.
I had a friend who tried that. He ran a campaign called Clerical Error, where everybody was a cleric. I know, you and my friend Zach would really get along. Beautiful. But anyway, and he was like, it was a mess after a while. But it's also, but clerics are an extremely complicated class, so that maybe cleric isn't the right pick. But I believe that there is probably a class out there that would be very fun to do this with. I think maybe like bards, or one of those classes that lets you do a little bit of everything. Like
bards, I think there's
Warlock
a chance
could do it. Warlock. You can
like
build hard into different ways with Warlock, with invocations.
Especially with like go deep into Hexblade.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the concept. The other thing that comes up is, depending on if you just don't have a set of players that are trying to do your classic 4. Fighter, cleric, rogue, wizard. And they're just branching out, and you realize that there's something that's not quite covered. They realize something's not quite covered. And when they're getting to the point where they're picking their subclass, they can choose something that basically breaks the mold of the inherent class. And so for number 5, I have done this one before, and you have to, that is another thing though. You do have to be a fairly proficient player, or be ready as the DM to help guide, or put some kid gloves on until the learning process has kind of settled in, because it is tough. But the Bladesinger Wizard is so much fun.
Yes, I would definitely agree. I've also played Bladesingers. I would definitely agree. It is sort of an advanced class, because you have to really know what to pick to maximize your economy, because having to split your focus between attacking and casting spells means you really need to know which spells are going to work with your action economy. So, yeah. But I mean, this is your classic pick, right? Like, there's this term called Gish, this is when you have the class that does both the magic and the fighty. This is the ultimate Gish class. So that is that combo of wizard and fighter. And yeah, if you can handle it, if you are willing to play clever and pick a great spell list, because it's really important that you pick the right spells, this is a great one.
Yeah, and you end up being, you're still using intelligence for your attack modifier, where you're thinking, I'm using mage armor, I'm using as much armor as I can, I'm using things to mitigate the damage that's coming in. So you are looking, so this is a term from Neil playing way too many video games over the years. Your term is effective health. It's not necessarily just HP. Barbarians are HP. That's what you're going for. You don't have much armor class. You just have a big pool of hit points.
Yeah, you are going to get hit a lot, and you can take it. That's barbarian.
Yeah. Whereas the wizard, you didn't change your hit die. You just changed the fact that you just don't want to be hit. And so that's what you're focused on. And everything needs to go towards that. And you need to be okay with the idea that the spells you cast aren't fireball.
Yep.
They aren't lightning bolt. They aren't any of that because of what you're doing instead.
Yep. Your choice here is to deal damage on the front lines like a fighter. Yep. And your spells are going to live to back that up. For sure.
But the narrative, the descriptions, the play style, once you start to get it, so fun.
I mean, honestly, pretty much every like beloved fantasy hero breaks down to being a blade singer. They're all people who have cool swords and also secret magic powers. So it's great. It's peak fantasy for sure.
So what do we have we have 5 of them. So what is number 4?
Number 4, the Circle of Stars Druid, the most overpicked druid subclass in the entire world. Everybody picks it because, hey, it's better than every other subclass they've ever written for druid, and we all know it. I actually said people can't play it anymore at my table because I was getting so sick of everybody picking it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. So druids have a great degree of freedom in their builds. They really do, despite the fact that they're forced to have this wild shape thing. Still in D&D 5.5. We changed that in Tales of the Valiant. I suspect Wizards will change it when they get to 6e. But you really do. I mean, druids can do it all. They're tanky. They have great spellcasting. They have great in and out of utility combat.
I mean, and with the original wild shape, you just had the most just over the top set of temporary hit points.
Yeah.
And then eventually they were like, oh, hold on, our bad. Because that version of effective health was truly
absurd
at times.
Yeah, but the Circle of Stars already gives you that built-in kind of like change on the fly because you can pick to be, the chalice form, the archer, or the dragon, these starry forms, and they each give you different benefits depending on whether you need to be the healer, whether you need to summon like radiant charged magic bolts, to deal a lot of damage, whether you need to like buff and debuff. So you can really all baked into one. This subclass lets you do battlefield control as if you were a bard or a warlock. It lets you heal as if you were the cleric, in your party. And it lets you deal, mad DPS. Again, like you're an Eldritch Blast warlock or you're a wizard on the back line. So, yeah, this does it all.
Yeah. It's a bit over the top.
We all know it.
Yeah, it kicks the door down on several other classes as well.
It sure does.
Yeah. So for number 3, I see as an alternative to getting a little fighter in my magic, why not get a little magic in my fighter? It's the Eldritch Knight fighter. It's going the opposite direction. It's flavoring in spells with fighting. Yeah, I feel like this one in some ways harkens to even more classic main character vibes. So main character vibe.
You start as the brave, captain of the guard or whatever, and then discover there's some prophecy. It's magic touched you.
Well, and I also love, a lot of people go with a find familiar, which is so much fun to do as a fighter as well. I think one of the things that draws people to this one is and you have a lot more that you can do, certainly in 5.5, just because there's a lot more you can do with the weapon masteries and things like that. And that was the whole point, because up until then, it's a lot of save or suck, as they like to call it, where you missed. That was your turn.
That's it.
So next, and that's not fun necessarily. And so having these spells or having a familiar or having all these other little things that you can do that are more guaranteed, because your low level magic has a tendency to just kind of do things, because I'll just do magic missile and then I'll rush in, or, I'll have my familiar, I don't remember what the rules are for this, but if they give me the help action, am I getting advantage? So I'm less likely to do this. And then, that helps, and so on and so forth. But it just gives a lot more flavor to something that doesn't always have it, depending on who's playing it or how they're playing their fighter. Because, 3rd edition is just like, weapon, everything, weapon specialization, weapon mastery, greater weapon specialization, greater weapon mastery. It's like, okay,
you want to hit them? You can hit them again. You can hit them again.
Would you like to hit them marginally harder? I would.
I would.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'll have another. So yeah, it's just opening up the entirety of the wizard spell list is also a very interesting thing because then it's up to you. Like, what kind of flavor are you adding to it?
Eldritch Knights are limited to just Aberration and Evocation unless they've changed that in 5.5.
Ooh, that's a good point. Let's see. What is...
I don't know. Yeah, because this was just written this year, a couple weeks ago. So,
yeah.
Eldritch Knight, support combat skills with arcane magic. You get cantrips. Any cantrip you want. Prepared spells. Oh, okay. I think they changed that. I think you can just do any now. Nope, they've lifted that restriction. So in 2014, you were limited. You could only pick Abjuration or Evocation spells, which, fighty-themed spells. But yeah, in 2024, they've lifted the restriction. So now you get cantrips, as well as getting to pick, 3, level 1 spells of your choice from the wizard list. So yeah, like you were saying, you can really actually now do quite a bit of customization.
The cantrips is a really smart addition, just because there is an element of getting farther down your level progression, and then just be like, great, pew pew pew.
Yep.
I got nothing because we're this high level and my spells aren't coming with me. But that's way more fun because it could just be. Are you interrogating? So you go into divination spells. It all depends on really what you want to do. Are you doing necromancy? Because why not? That's what you want to do. Is it all fire? Is it all ice? Is it,
Yeah, like conjuration or transmutation, like stuff like I would boop around the field. I would teleport. I would misty step all day. Like, mobility.
Yep.
Cast haste on myself. Bamf.
Non-stop
speed. I'm gonna outrace my monk with my Eldritch Knight.
So what do we have for number 2?
Number 4? Oh yeah. Oh, we're counting down. I was like, what is happening? Counting down. Oh, the College of Swords Bard. So a little story time, kids. So the College of Swords in 2024 was a combination of a very bad subclass of the same name from 2014, combined with a relatively okay subclass called College of Valor that was in the original PHB in 2014. And while the idea of this was cool in 2014, I feel like they've finally done it in 2024 and made it a viable option to play, because for many years I played a College of Valor Bard in a Rise of Tiamat campaign, and oh gosh, every fight after getting kicked by a dragon in the face, I wished I had picked Paladin instead. Every single game, because it was almost there, but not quite there. But this is fun. I think College of Swords is actually now a lot more viable of a play. Because, guys, I like bards. Bards are fun. Bards, get all the skill stuff, right? So they're good outside of combat all the time. And this lets you be good in combat, too, if you want to, bash people over the head with lutes. Or whatever weird bard thing you're into. Because you're always into something weird if you're playing a bard as somebody who plays bards.
I want to throw symbols.
Throw symbols, yeah, like little zills. You could throw them like ninja stars, or just constantly be breaking lutes, guitars over people's heads. Like that's what you sink your money into at high levels. You just buy an endless supply of guitars to smash over the heads of people. Your whole bag of holding is just full of electric guitars, so that you can just.
Makes me think of there's a scene in Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson sits down at the diner. He's like, I'd like to have all of your bacon and eggs. And that guy turns around. He's like, excuse me, hold on. I think you misheard me. I think you heard a lot of bacon and eggs. And what I said was, I would like all of your bacon and eggs. I just imagine this bard going into somewhere. I would like to buy all of your loots.
Yes.
What? I think you misheard me a lot. No, I want all of them.
Yeah. And, or if you want to be, a chef a chef bard, and then, this is, you fight with your knives, right? Or whatever this is. I feel like this combo plays into a lot of the weird fiction that you kind of want when you pick a bard, right? Whatever your flavor is.
It is interesting that we are now at the point of 3 out of 4 that are magic and slicing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any combos that are just, is the last one? No.
I mean, I guess that's the point of it, though, isn't it? I mean,
I guess in a swords and sorcery game, you want to do the sword and you want to do the sorcery if you want. Yeah. You're the person who wants it all. Also, nowadays, when all the classes are starting to look like each other more and more, what classes remain that can't do magic? Is it literally just the barbarian and the fighter? Out of all 13, 14 in the game.
Yeah, they can't do it out of the box.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. So, what are we asking for? A fighter-barbarian combo? That would be madness.
Excuse me.
No, yes, it's awesome. It's awesome.
All day.
Awesome.
Rage action surge? Yes.
Yes.
Reckless
do it,
action
cowards.
Surge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, last pick. Path of Wild Magic Barbarian. Yes.
Done and done.
Done and done. Put a little magic in your axe.
When you enter your rage, roll on the wild magic table to determine the magical effect produced. Yay.
Yeah. This is,
but it is important. It is important, though. In 2014, was it the actual wild magic surge table, or was there one specific to the barbarian?
It was specific to the barbarian.
Okay. Then that remains true of 5/5. Mm-hmm. You're rolling a D8 and you're seeing what happens. And then you're bolstering magic. I mean, I like it. It's fun. But rolling out a wild, I'm being the person that is showing up night after night, knowing that you're going to do this. Mm-hmm. It's why it is wild. It is a wild choice.
Yep.
And you're the person that did it. So
there is a kind of person in this world that always wants to play this kind of class. They usually pick wild magic sorcerer or chaos magic sorcerer, whatever you want to call it. It's that guy, and they will always exist. And they have always existed since the dawn of time. And it's important that we make things for them. But boy howdy, as a GM, howdy.
I mean, the bolstering magic is also interesting because you can just basically give them like a baby bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's even like a small bless. But the other option is that you help them regain a spell. The creature, roll the D3. The creature regains 1 expended spell slot, the level of which equals the number rolled or lower.
What I do like about this ability, even though it doesn't give you like magic spell casting, I like that this lets you kind of buff your allies a little bit. I feel like barbarians on the field a lot of the times feel like they're just, slaughtering things. So it's nice to have a little bit in there that's like a little boon to your allies. Maybe you recover a spell. Maybe you do, 10 HP, whatever. It's just kind of nice to throw something to your homies every once in a while,
The rest of it is very interesting to me because the level 10 one is unstable. It's been a while since I've looked into this one more, but the unstable backlash when you're imperiled during your rage. Basically, after you take damage or fail a saving throw while raging, you can use your reaction to roll on the wild magic table again and immediately produce the effect rolled, and this replaces the one that you have. And then once you cap out, you roll twice and you just choose which one you want. Like you're harnessing the wild magic once you get to the top spot.
Yeah, I'm sure this appeals to a very specific type of player. I don't know. I'd have to see it in play, but it's definitely a combo. It's definitely something that lets you kind of get out of the normal rah barbarian smash. It's throwing a little bit more chaos in there with some cool side bennies.
Yeah. And it is important to note, most of the things on here are very beneficial. It is just to what degree are they benefiting you in the exact moment that you find yourself. Yeah. 8, a bolt of lightning shoots from your chest. I could see how you could do a lot of cool things with that.
We do a lot of cool things.
Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you, then making 15 feet around you difficult terrain. Okay. And then multicolored lights, but they're protective. So it's a +1 AC.
Oh.
And anyone within 10 feet of you that's an ally also gains this bonus.
That's
so like,
nice.
yeah. So and you can choose. And then once you're starting to choose those things, like knowing, I would love to shoot a bolt of lightning out of my chest.
This is
I do think it would be really helpful to have a +1 AC. Wow. Difficult terrain would be really beneficial right now. So, I mean, there is a lot to it, but still, you're rolling on a table.
You're still
every time you
still random chaos, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so let's lift the mental weights right now.
Lifting weights is what I do. Look at me. Lift these weights.
What is one that comes to your mind that was not brought up by this list?
Some of these combos, I think.
Yeah.
Well, when I think of the classic, like, ways to break the mold, I always go to clerics. When I'm thinking about, like, the war domain cleric is how you become the tankiest cleric in all the world. I think also things like spell, arcane tricksters and stuff. So the rogues with a little magic mixed in. That is probably the Gish type that appeals to me most, like a little bit of tricky magic, while I'm stealing from you. Yeah, so those are the ones that come to mind for me, just off the top of my head immediately.
Yeah, I had mentioned before the Hexblade Warlock. So there was one time where I made what was called a Satadin, which is a single attribute dependent paladin, where everything was charisma based. So it was a Hexblade Warlock with a paladin merged together. So everything was just charisma based. So you were doing Hexblade things, but you were also able to roll in Divine Smite in there. And then because you were using a Warlock, you were also accessing the spell, so you had more spell slots to leverage.
Oh, that build.
When you were when you were doing your Divine Smites and stuff like that. So certainly breaks all the molds. That just snaps that Warlock thing right in half and just rips spells out of it, because that's all you were using it for, essentially. So that is one that comes to mind. What is a class that we haven't? Is there a class that we haven't covered by this?
I feel like Ranger. Like, where do you? I was trying to think of a good one for Ranger, but Rangers also already have a bunch of stuff going on that it's like.
Because the Ranger in its earliest iterations was leveraging the idea that Aragorn is a Ranger, and Aragorn had healing abilities, and so like Aragorn carried forward this idea that the Ranger was this catch-all, and that this Ranger really could do everything. And so there's a lot that you would do there. I think I don't see it very often, but when I played a Ranger, I always leaned super heavy into 2-weapon fighting, because there were a lot of builds that you could do, and that felt like it really broke the mold. Like, you were frontline, you were just eviscerating things because
Ranger
you were doing
Rogue
so
is
much.
A really cool combo if you do the two-weapon fighting. So you're really sneaky, sort of. Yeah, that I love that kind of stuff. We haven't talked about monks. Monks also just do so much. I've always felt like monks are their own kind of beast in terms of class design. I don't like designing for them. I don't particularly like playing them, but there are people who love them. But I feel like most of the time when I see monk players, they are the types of players who just go 1 to 20 in a class, right? They don't want to multi-class. They want to fight with their hands, and they want to do all the classic monk stuff. So there's not really a lot of subclasses that just like wildly blow that out of the water.
The only time you do it is if you do end up going with like a subclass that does lean a little bit more into the spells.
Yeah.
Those are the kinds that,
like Radiant Soul, you get to like blast around a little radiant magic.
I don't like doing it. There's a couple. Man, I'm trying to think of what
like shadowy stuff. You might like get a little teleport, but it's nothing like wild, you know.
It's not breaking it. Yeah, it doesn't go into the concept of truly breaking it. I know that one of the ones that just came out recently that they were pushing it pretty hard, was the Pugilist, which is the way I like to run monks a lot, where it's monks without like the tenets of faith and things like that. You're just beating the brakes off of somebody. Doing it the way I did it before is kind of breaking the mold, because you're not, you don't have this, all these things that go back towards it. But at the same time, it's also, you're still just using all the same abilities.
Still just doing bunchies of punchies. I guess that's what the appeal of like the elemental monk has always been about. It lets you do a little bit A little bit of spell casting, so, you get your avatar flavor.
Let's see, monks, clerics, artificer. That always floats out in its own weird nebulous place.
Yeah. Okay, artificer is sort of like rangers, where they couldn't really decide on one thing they could do well, so they do a bunch of different things kind of okay. So they're already kind of breaking the mold.
Sorcerer, but you're going to end up with bloodlines, but...
Sorcerers are just warlocks.
Yep.
With more spells. All Celeste's big hot take opinions coming out this episode. Whoa! Hot take! If you didn't realize it, it's a con. Sorcerers are just warlocks.
Yeah.
Except their patron is themselves,
Yeah, Paladin's the other one that we haven't necessarily...
Paladins are already breaky, though, because they're already cleric plus fighter. The anti-paladin stuff, gets you a little... In flavor, at least, you're kind of breaking the mold, but you're really just doing the same mechanics at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's bad boy themed.
Yeah. Oathbreaker. Yeah.
Breaker.
Or you just end up being the cleric. That's not necessarily inherently breaking the mold, but it is a version where you realize you're the only one that has it, and you just lean super, super heavy into that type of thing. You're getting magic items for it. You're getting every class choice that you're making is leaning into that. And then at the same time, you have the ability to just waltz in there and just, wail on somebody.
It's my pick. This technically isn't breaking the mold, but what I like to do, I really like making wizards that aren't damage wizards. So they're not fireball wizards. This doesn't break the mold. This is totally in the fantasy and whatever, but tables have gotten really hostile towards the idea of a wizard that doesn't cast fireball or whatever. So I like to make abjuration wizards. I want to be shieldy bubble wizard, or I want to be, weird conjuration wizard, or weird, transmutation, change my body into strange, I have a lobster claw now, that kind of stuff. You can get really weird with that and break the classic, all right, what does the wizard have to do at the D&D table? Do my big blast, run in the back. There's a lot of ways. Magic just gives you so many ways to customize, and there are so many spells in the game, and there are always going to be so many, and they're coming out with them all the time. So
yeah,
wizard is the original do what you want the way you want it class, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't play too often, but I do have a forest gnome wizard that I play. Because I didn't want to do that, because I just don't want to do that for this particular table. I leaned way more into some of the summoning ones, because we did move into 5e or 5.5 for this. And so I was really interested in what do those look like? What do those feel like at the table? Just so that I could better understand it. Those are so much fun. And then the way that the DM is handling it is that I'm bringing forth things that are happening. It just died. I'm bringing it forth because we're playing through the Lost Mines of Phandelver,
cool,
Shattered Obelisk, all that. And so there's a badger, and our rogue goes in. The badger, I don't think, is inherently frustrated or at all. You could definitely get past this thing. And then, of course, the rogue kills it. Oh. I was like, that's a wild move. I would like to animate that, please. Yeah. So I summon it back, and then I choose Ghost. Yeah. So I think it had a name. I think it had a name. If it didn't, I named it Bessie. I think that was its original name. And then he's like, what would you like to do? I was like, I want to go haunt everyone in this place. What do you mean? What do I want to do? So I'm just like, the ghost of Bessie is just floating through the room, scaring the crap out of me. Yeah, everyone else. And then I run in behind it. Yeah, and then I run in behind it and cast spells. And what's going on? And then later, because part of it was to do one of the other ones is you needed a skull that was encrusted with a certain amount of gems. Whoa. But the Kroll, or insert very orc type name here, he has encrusted teeth. So I take his skull and then I summon him later and so now I've been on the hunt for what qualifies as the putrid thing. Yeah. So just doing that instead, just because the summoning stuff is way funnier to me and way more entertaining.
So, want to break the mold? Go original. Pick a wizard.
Yep. But if you want to break the mold, on our reviews, head over to your podcatcher in choice and see if you can leave us 6 stars. See, I don't know, try. And if not, 5's okay.
And then give us 6 with your words.
Yes. I would have given 6 stars, but this foolish program did not let me. And of course, if you want to tell us how you've been breaking the molds on the classes you've been using, you can always email us at dungeonmastersblock@gmail.com. And of course, if you head over to social media, you can typically find us at DMS_block. That's at DM's block. You can find me at JoteManiac.
Yeah, and you can find me at C. Conowitch. And for everything else on the network, check out blockpartypodcastnetwork.com. Also, as always, a huge thank you to the bards over on Bombarded for our intro and outro music. You can find out more about Bombarded at bombardedcast.com.
Let's head to the post-workout cooldown and stretch with the light bulb.
Light bulb.
Okay, this time around, we have an item that you can take to your table. It's been a little while, so Celeste, what will we be sharing today?
Yes. All right. So, a little bit of backstory. I have lately been playing in a Shadow Dark campaign, and one of the cool things about Shadow Dark is a torch mechanic, which I believe I've talked about on the show before, how much I love this torch mechanic. But the torch mechanic in real life tracks a torch in the game, only lasts 1 real life hour. So, that encourages your players to have to play fast, go fast, right? Or they die in the game. So with that, obviously there are a bunch of ways to track that and creative solutions, but one of the things we started doing at my table is using these timers. Specifically, it's called the time timer, and what's neat about it is that it's like a little visual timer face, like an analog clock, but when you spin it, it fills in the color wheel, and so you can actually see the color counting down and draining away as time progresses. So this is an incredible tool that I've just started using for all of my games. Not even necessarily to like as a penalty or whatever, but just to keep the players kind of aware of like how long things are taking, right? So like if they've been in a combat for a while or whatever is happening, you know, I'll set the timer and be like, hey, oh, look, an hour has passed. It gives a visual color representation of what's going on. And what I have found is that game speeds up. Like there's less cross chatter. People are more excited and like more focused. You know, it's some psychic little thing in our human brain that when we know there's a time crunch, we want to have as much fun as possible in that time. And we are able to better structure things. And so I've just started using this. The company that makes these, it's called Time Timer, is the name of the company. And they actually developed these because for folks with learning disabilities or for teaching children like to learn about time, or people with like neurodivergent conditions. Like I have ADHD. I have a huge problem tracking time. These timers help me so much. And there's a lot of proven research about this, and they do a lot of good things and like donate to education and are constantly developing things. So you can go to timetimer.com. They have all kinds of these timers. They have big face ones. They have little ones, like whatever it is. But just having that visual reminder of things like, you know, like, hey, we're going to start combat. I'm going to start this timer here. And what's nice about it is it doesn't have to be close to your players. They can just see the color, right? And it's not like, oh, you have only 5 minutes left. It's more of like, oh, I can see half the circle is filled in, right? And like counting down. So we're about halfway through. I don't know what it is, but it works. And it's really great for gameplay.
Okay. So what's about to happen next is going to be something that I continue to feel like people are not going to believe me about or us about. So we're the same person. Yeah. So last night I bought and downloaded Shadow Dark, and
incredible.
Gosh darn it.
So much
as soon
fun.
As you said it, I was like, no one's going to believe me. So ridiculous. So for me, it's actually the initiative, because what Shadow Dark does is you remain in initiative at all times. Mm-hmm. It becomes looser when you're not in combat, but it's something to help play continue in case. And then, so what I was using it for was, using it to like reference for a play by post game, because sometimes that's tough to say, okay, it's been too long. Should it be me? Should it not be me? Have I been taking the spotlight too long? And so like remaining in initiative order is what that group that I'm in is we're moving into that to see if that's something that can help just continue the pace of it. That is also when I learned exactly about the torches, and then in real time being that same thing. And it's a visual representation, and everything from my previous work with students with disabilities also came up to mind. And then of course that's, a huge portion of what they do, educational work and stuff with people with disabilities. Because the other thing I thought about is it's also, there's a level of comfort, because I know I've talked about it a lot before. I'm a big proponent now of doing shorter breaks more often. So typically, especially if I'm at a con, I'm usually trying to hit the 1 hour mark.
Yep.
About every hour, 5 to 10 minutes, super short. Go to the bathroom real quick, get whatever you want, come right back. Let's get back to it. And so like, this would be a perfect representation. Like if someone's thinking, oh, I really need to go to the bathroom, or, oh, I could get I got like 10 minutes. Oh, perfect. Lock in, next 10 minutes, it pops off. Go do what you need. And so like, I think that'd be really interesting to take to a con game as well. Yeah. Especially with something that is so limited in its time, to also help people stay on pace and have a genuine visual representation. Yeah.
Because a lot of people set timers for con games and whatever, you figure that trick out eventually. But what's great about this is having a visual, so you can always see, you glance up real quick and have a good idea. Oh, am I halfway through? Am I through right? Without having to be like, oh, okay, wait, 5 minutes, okay, till 5:30 we have to, like it just takes a lot of the hassle out and keeps you accountable for your time as the game master, and also keeps your players accountable with that good visual representation. So I can't recommend it enough. It's not a tool, specifically made for games, but man, it's great and has become super helpful. I don't want to play without it anymore.
Yeah, and there's a ton of different ones that I'm seeing here. There's a 5, there's 60, there's 10, there's 20.
And they have different colors, like you can do different sizes. You can like change the volume of the alarm, or if you need it to be really like low or high for sensory reasons. They have little bumpers that you can like put around it, so if you want to travel with it, it'll protect whatever you have. Really, really thoughtful company. Really great product. Very, very reasonably priced. Gonna last, forever. Do it. Why not?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna reach out and see what happens.
Yeah.
Worst case, nothing. Best case, something. Because this is really interesting to me, and I would be interested to see how much they have thought about this concept. Yeah. Because they have, in education, in special needs, at home, at work, all products. It'd be very interesting to see if anyone's reached out to them from this angle.
Yeah. It's so great. I keep these on my desks now all the time. Yeah. I don't know how I lived without timers everywhere, all over my house.
Okay. There'll be a link down in the show notes to get yourself a timer in case you need one. But with that, we'll turn out the lights and head out of the gym.
Before we go, I want to implore you, the listener, to join the forums, the Discord, social media, anywhere else you can find us, and take part in these challenges, exercises, and other amazing conversations being had.
And to do that, head over to bit.ly/DMBanter and try some DM-Nastics, so your players don't ask, do you even lift?